Okay, so we knew that the Sentebale drama was going to continue, but we didn't expect, or at least I didn't expect this to be so, well, such a carnage. And right now, Sophie Chandauka, the chair of Sentebale, is accusing Harry of forcing a failure of the charity he founded. This is a very strong accusation, a very great accusations, and I don't think that Harry is going to be able to, well, just escape this one. This is very bad news to, I would say, sadly, not only Harry, but in general, I wouldn't say for the royal family as well, but let's read what is this about. The chair of an African charity co-founded by Prince Harry has accused him of trying to force a failure of the organization, as in you make sure that your organization or your company goes bankrupt or something to, well, get rid of it in many ways. And so that's why I tell you this is just well, it's big, deepening a public row that has thrown Sentebale into disarray. Sophie Chandauka claimed the charity's founders, Prince Harry and Prince Siso of Lesotho, want to force a failure and then come to the rescue. This is, yeah, and of course the failure is her in this case. The royal patrons and all 5 of the charity's trustees resigned this week. In her first interview since the dispute erupted, because you might remember 2 of my videos, I made a very good summary of all this drama up until like 2 days ago. And now we have this was like barely 12 hours ago was published. She defended her record as chair, insisted the organization would live on, and said Prince Harry's brand had hindered the charity. Okay, this is we had seen this indirect attacks on Harry, but this is a pretty much direct attack on him because, well, the title itself, it's that Harry is trying to even paint himself as the hero in this drama. The number one risk for this organization was the toxicity of its lead patron's brand. Toxicity, that sounds like Meghan as well. I mean, that 100% sounds like Meghan. Chandauka told the Financial Times, Prince Harry and Prince Siso, fond of the Forget-Me-Not, the charity's future was thrown into doubt on Tuesday when the co-founders announced they were stepping away. We know that. The relationship between the charity's trustees and the chair of the board broke down beyond repair, creating an untenable situation. That's in, we are not to blame for this. We're going to put the blame on someone else. These trustees acted in the best interest of the charity in asking the chair to step down, Chandauka, while keeping the well-being of staff in mind. In turn, she sued the charity to remain in this voluntary position, further underscoring the broken relationship. We will be sharing all of our concerns with the Charity Commission as how this came out. Representatives for Prince Harry later strongly denied he had sought to engineer the collapse of the charity in order to rescue it. To be fair, I have never thought that Harry is capable of doing anything and, well, engineering the collapse of the charity. No, that is, I think those are words way too complex for Harry. Like each one in itself, all 3 at the same time, engineer, only the word engineer. No, that is foreign to Harry. That is nonsensical for him. Engineering the collapse of the charity, I don't know. I think I'm going to tell you that is way too much for Gingerbread. Another thing would be that he was advised to do that. Somebody advised him. I don't think Meghan has that ability. Oh, let's destroy your charity so you can come back as the savior. I don't know. I'm pretty sure that is way too much for Meghan as well. Chandauka, Zimbabwe-born and London-trained lawyer, had previously served on the board of trustees between 2008 and 2014 before her appointment to chair in 2023. Remember that They are trying to blame her for everything that happened before she became the chair. She has held roles at Meta and Morgan Stanley. Okay. She told the Financial Times that as Sentebale's chair, she had been on a mission to transform the charity from overhauling the charity's culture, in which the culture, that we were talking about, those accusations that it was a bit toxic, that was a bit a toxic environment, even as toxic as Archwell, but I'm not gonna name names yet. Operations and long-term strategy with a focus on U.S. fundraising. Chandauka said she also moved to widen its remit to include climate resilience and wealth inequality, while shifting more decision-making to leaders in Southern Africa. The way the organization had been set up in 2006 was no longer appropriate in 2023 in a post-Black Lives Matter world. Oh my God, I'm beginning to place some bets. Sometimes you place your bets on both sides. You bet on black and you bet on red. It's just to be sure. And the moment that she says in a post Black Lives Matter world, no, this is no. Let's see who is the wokest in here, said Chandauka. Funders were asking for locally led initiatives. The transition had triggered friction between UK-based staff and those in Lesotho, where most of the charity's 500-plus workforce are based, and Botswana, Chandauka said. The board felt a loss of power and control and influence. Oh my goodness, the Africans are taking over. Chandauka added that during her time as chair, he experienced disrespect, bullying, and intimidation. Well, that is the normal fare. That is the day-to-day operations. Like if you are, maybe not in Sentebale, but if you're under Meghan's eyes, well, that is normal. That is normal. Maybe Harry learned that from Meghan, right? And by extension, you were feeling that disrespect, bullying, and intimidation. And again, those words like misogynoir, like misogyny directed at black women, because it's like very focused. No, this credibility. No, this. She 100% sounds like a Sausage Squad member. As in, oh my God, we have to deal with these attacks. What could we do to deal with this attack? There's no suggestion that Princess Harry or CISO were alleged to have behaved in this way. Maybe there's proof. That would be fun to have proof of this. Kelelo Lerotoli, one of the trustees who resigned this week, told Sky News he did not recognize the allegations. I can honestly say in the meetings I was present in, there was never even a hint of such. Well, if you only talk about the meetings, I have to tell you, the meetings of an organization are just a tiny fraction of an organization you're functioning. So maybe it's 1%. Are you aware of what's going on with the other 99%? I know when you're not in the meetings, because if it's only meetings, you will get exactly zero done. That doesn't work that way. We talk about the Baroness. I'm not going to talk about her again. Tensions came to a head in February when trustees sought Chandauka's resignation. She had filed a report to the Charity Commission, and on March 5, Chandauka took the dramatic step of applying to the UK High Court to try and block a boardroom vote to remove her. They thought I wouldn't have the audacity to proceed with a court action. Well, they were wrong. The narrator. The newly formed board of Sentebale includes Ian Rawlinson, a financier who was previously chair of Prince William's Conservation Charity Tusk Trust and has been advising Chandauka. He told the Financial Times there had been a concerted effort by certain trustees to destabilize and remove Sophie from her position. The thing is, what I see here is that in this kind of events, you know what happens with this kind of events? One thing that is that usually you're essentially looking for remove somebody and try to, run to cover for everything that you have been doing, not the person that you're removing. It's like, okay, let's fire her, blame her, and well, everything will be fine with the new minion that we choose for this. And that could work if, in this case, Chandauka, as woke as she is, she doesn't fight back. But she is fighting back. That's the difference. The origins of the dispute have been highly contested by both sides. Chandauka said she first felt tension between Prince Harry, the Duke of Sussexes, and herself in April 2024. Chandauka said she had refused that she described as a request by the royal team to defend his wife, Meghan, in the media after negative coverage of her. I said, no, we're not setting a precedent by which we become an extension of the sausage PR machine, she said. You can imagine how Meghan took that. As in, Meghan wanted Sentebale and, well, in this case, Chandauka herself, to become part of her personal PR. And I think that was, I was the thing that broke the camel's back. She argued that the volatile public sentiment around Prince Harry since his move to the US and media fallout after the release of the Netflix documentary in 2022 and his book in 2023 had an impact on the charity's ability to diversify its donor pool and make senior hires. I concur. I agree that must have happened because less and less people want anything to do with the Harkles. When you start to interview people, they're asking questions about these mixed messages around the patron, she said. A person familiar with the trustees' account of events said the charity has been almost entirely reliant on the positive view of Prince Harry to raise funds. Okay, good luck with that. That is gonna be good luck with that. They said the dispute had nothing to do with personal tensions. There are real issues at hand that have been raised and not addressed. The trustees tried to negotiate this privately and requested she consider her position due to their lack of trust and confidence in her as a leader. But I'm sure that she doesn't want this to be a stain on her resume. She wanted this to work, but not in the way that the trustees wanted it to work, if you know what I mean, right? Maybe, all this money that we know that was channeled from USAID has been canceled, by the way, completely closed, and towards Sentebale. And, well, this is very suspicious. We still don't know what is the participation of Harry in this. What is Meghan's participation in this? If they are involved or not, at what extent? But we would not be surprised. Those Archwell books don't make sense in most years. Lawyers for Prince Harry said there had been a breakdown in relations between the chair and key individuals, including some staff, trustees, and major funders. Prince Harry has over the years provided direct funding for the charity, including $1.5 million from the sale of his book Spare. 2022 accounts show. Latest available figures show total income in August at £3.4 million, down from $4.5 million a year earlier. A Charity Commission spokesperson said, "We can confirm that we are aware of concerns about the governance of Sentebale. We are assessing the issues to determine the appropriate regulatory steps." Chandauka told the Financial Times the public row has been stressful for the charity's staff. The team is not equipped to deal with this glare. Well, if you are, let's say, under the umbrella of the Harkles, this is what's going to happen. This is what's going to happen either if you are working for the royal family and Harry and Meghan were around. We know how that went. We know how, the high churn of people at Archwell, and now we know this. It's like that bad juju follows them and everybody around in a way that nobody can doubt that if you are around those people, this kind of things are going to happen. But I would like to know, what do you think about this in the comments? My name is Jesus Enrique Rosas. I'm the Royal Rogue. Much love and bliss.